Merry Christmas. Today, billions of people are celebrating the birth of Jesus of Nazareth. They see the baby in the manger, the shepherds, the wise men. It is a peaceful image. But today, I want to talk about the other image of Jesus, the one the churches rarely preach about, the one Wall Street hates, the image of Jesus with a whip in his hand. Because if people really internalized that scene, half of modern finance would look morally indefensible overnight. There is only one time in the Gospels where Jesus gets physically violent. He didn't get violent with sinners, he ate with them. He didn't get violent with the Romans, he said, "Render unto Caesar." He got violent with the bankers. The cleansing of the temple. He walked into the temple in Jerusalem and saw the money changers. Who were they? They were the ancient prototype of today's central bankers and currency middlemen. You see, to pay the temple tax, you couldn't use Roman coins. They had the image of the emperor, a graven image. You had to use the shekel of the sanctuary. So pilgrims would come from all over, and the money changers would take their Roman money and exchange it for shekels. And they charged a fee, a massive fee. They were exploiting the people's desire to worship God to make a profit. They were gatekeeping salvation. Jesus made a whip of cords. He flipped the tables. He scattered the coins. He shouted, "Take these things hence. Make not my Father's house a house of merchandise." He called them a den of thieves. Why does this matter in 2025? Because we are living in the temple of the money changers. Our entire civilization is built on usury. Usury is the ancient word for lending money at interest. For 1,500 years, Christianity banned usury. Islam still bans it, at least in principle. Aristotle condemned it. Why? Because money is sterile. Money cannot breed money. Only labor and nature create value. If I lend you a shovel and you dig a hole, you created value. If I lend you $100 and demand $110 back, I created nothing. I just enslaved your future labor. The modern economy is a debt cult. We believe that money should make money. We believe in passive income from interest. I'm not talking about funding a real business that creates jobs and pays back a fair share. I'm talking about a system where debt itself becomes the product, rolled and sliced and traded until nobody remembers what real work looks like. But mathematically, compound interest is a cancer. It grows exponentially, while the real economy grows linearly. Eventually, the debt becomes larger than all the wealth on earth. That is where we are today. Over $300 trillion in global debt. The prosperity gospel preachers tell you that God wants you to be rich. They tell you to seed money to get money. That is the money changer theology. The message of the manger was radical poverty. It was radical detachment from the material world. You cannot serve both God and mammon. This isn't a sermon, this is economics. A system based on usury, greed, and financialization always collapses. It collapses because it extracts value from the producers and gives it to the rent seekers. It creates a society where it is more profitable to trade derivatives than to build bridges, where it is more profitable to be a landlord than a builder, where it is more profitable to be a money changer than a carpenter. On Christmas Day, we celebrate a reset. The birth of Christ was year zero. a restart of history. We need an economic restart. In the Bible, there is the concept of the Jubilee. Every 50 years, all debts were forgiven, all slaves were freed, all land was returned to its original owners. It was a hard reset to prevent the rich from owning everything forever. We haven't had a Jubilee in 2,000 years. Instead, we created rolling bailouts for the top and rolling foreclosures for the bottom. The debt has piled up. The servitude has become permanent. The architect's view. The system we live in is anti-human and anti-nature. It values the symbol over the reality. It values the transaction over the relationship. If you want to honor the spirit of this day, do something radical. Start your own Jubilee, even if it's small. Forgive a debt. If someone owes you money and they cannot pay, let it go. Break the chain. Cut one recurring payment that only exists to numb you, not to help you grow. One subscription, one habit, one leak in the boat. Give anonymously. Don't do it for the tax deduction. Do it to detach yourself from the grip of mammon. And look at your own life. Are you a money changer? Are you extracting value or creating it? The whip is coming, not from a man in the temple, but from reality itself. The tables of the global economy, loaded with derivatives contracts and fiat promises, are about to be overturned. The coins will be scattered, and when the dust settles, only the things that are real will remain. Truth, love, family, skill, land. These are the things that survive the cleansing. The rest is just noise in the temple. Merry Christmas. Enjoy the peace today, because the war for the future resumes tomorrow. I am the architect, and I will see you then.